Hello people, I'm Slim and you're watching the Slim Bob YouTube channel. Alright guys, today we're going to be doing a little bit of preemptive maintenance on the Accord. Anytime you put a system into a car, into a truck, into any kind of vehicle with an alternator or charging system, you've got to beef up the electrical system in the car as a whole. So today we're going to be doing the big three. We're going to be replacing the chassis ground, the engine ground, and the alternator power cable. So you can see I've already got some stuff started. There's missing battery here. I've got it all taken apart up here at the fuse block so I can get all the wiring rerouted. I got to make some stuff shorter, but let me show you a little bit about what we're working with today. So you can see I've got all the wires and everything laid out. I've got some power wire and ground wire pre-made up. Power wire, ground wire, fuse blocks, downforsoundshop.com. JP did me great. Really fast delivery service. Not a sponsored video. I bought all this with my own money, but you can tell that these guys really take care of their people. Everything was great. I even got a lollipop in the box. It was fantastic. SMD fuse blocks. One's going to be for the alternator, one's going to be for the future power wire, but I went ahead and made a bracket so that can mount in the engine bay. New battery terminals, aught gauge lugs, the crimping equipment and extra power cable, my wire loom, and the most important piece, my motivation sauce. Can't work in a garage without it. Okay, so that's not a normal part of having to do this, but you'll see down here, this has a battery terminal, and since I'm putting new battery terminals on this cable, I need to shorten this to make sure that I don't have a whole lot of other garbage going on here. So normally, if you're just going to use this terminal and add it onto here, this isn't a necessary step. I'm going a little above and beyond, but figured I'd go ahead and show you what I was doing since I was doing it anyway. So there's the ground wire that the factory uses. This is what grounds the battery to the chassis. So anytime you're putting something in a car and you just bind it or bond it or whatever, ground it to the chassis, this is what you use. We're replacing it with aught gauge. So you can see that gives a lot better connectivity. We're also going to be replacing the engine ground with same size thing. Here's our new battery terminal. We're just going to give it a little test and see if we can make everything fit. I think we'll be able to get everything in there no problem. Okay, well, now that we got all the non-specific stuff out of the way, we're going to take this odd gauge power wire and we're going to run it from the alternator to where my fuse block is going to be. This is certified base head, odd gauge, oxygen free power wire. I put the braided exterior on it, odd gauge copper lug, and heat wrap. I'm going to follow the factory wiring so that this can be as hidden and factory looking as possible, right behind the intake manifold. And just lay it right there. Alright, so right here is going to be where your power wire ties into your battery on the alternator. Pull this little boot back and you can kind of see a nut on the back side of there holding that wire on. That's where we're going to tie in this odd gauge power wire. Now this is a Honda, so I'm assuming that's going to be a 10 millimeter. So the alternator's got this plastic piece on it right by the bolt, and it keeps this big ass piece from going on over top of it. That's what I'm battling with right now. I may just have to trim that off. Got this nice little fuse block I made last night. I'm going to go ahead and mount that. I got the battery run from the alternator. It's coming over here. It's going to connect right there. Get this tightened up real quick. And hopefully get the battery in here. And I'll show you here in just a minute. Alright, so I did get the cable run from the alternator. It was a bit of a pain, just because the size of the alternator bolt area is bigger than the lug we used. But I got it connected. I got it put under the factory wire. That way we could use the rubber boot that's on the factory plug. I got it zip tied and run behind the intake and following the other wiring. And it's coming up right here. I'll be able to tie that into the fuse block. And then once I get the battery put in, tie the new battery terminal in and get it wired in. Then all I got to do is grounds and we should be ready to go. So when you're grounding something to the chassis, you don't want to be grounding through the paint. Just taking some sandpaper, and we're going to sand the paint off all the way down to the metal before we attach our ground to it. That way we've got good metal to metal contact. That's what I was using. Okay. Now that we've got the ground attached, we got all that stuff sanded away. We don't want that to rust out in the weather. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some clear coat and just spray it over there so it's got some kind of protection. That should be good. Ground cable.
Working with coax. Sorry, I shouldn't talk.
It's all right. For those of you that noticed, while I'm getting this put in there, I actually got a camera guy today. This is Mr. Matt Wacker. He's been a friend of mine here for a little while, and has got his own YouTube channel. He does reviews on collectibles and cosplay and DC Universe, Batman, Superman, Indiana Jones. Oh man, if you like Indiana Jones, this is a guy for you right here. Go check him out at Whack Matters is his Instagram. But he's under Matt, typical spelling, M-A-T-T. Wacker, typical spelling, W-A-C-K-E-R. On YouTube. I'll put a link down in the description to his channel. He's got some pretty cool stuff. Every once in a while you may see me on there, but I'm not doing anything like this. He's handling my camera today. I'm very thankful for it. Alright. I'd say our ground has improved quite a bit. That should be about right. Not very long. That'll work. Alright guys, I got her finished up. Got the new battery terminals on the battery. Got a new ground cable over here. Straight to the chassis. Got the factory power cables tied into the new terminal. Got a new power wire to the fuse block. And the other side of the fuse block is going to go over to the alternator. You can see it poking out right here. It follows the factory wiring. Ended up pulling the wire loom off of the factory, so I went ahead and tested taped those back up. I got some more cleaning up I'm going to end up doing a little later on with this. But that's going to do it for this one. It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be, but we got her done. So the one thing I haven't figured out, and I need everybody's help with, anybody watching, in addition to liking, subscribing, sharing the video, I need a name for this beast. So far it's just the Accord, but I need a name. I don't know what to even call it. So throw down in the comments what you think we should name it, and I don't know. Next time we'll announce the best ones and see if maybe we'll get a vote out on the top 3. But that's going to do it for today. So until next time, we'll see you later.